Hey everyone, Workout Wednesday, you're gonna coach through inverted row with a TRX or any suspension strap that you might have, or if you're using the sheet over the door trick. And I'm also gonna show you with an Olympic bar if those options are not available to you and maybe you are in a gym setting or you have a squat rack at home. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna show you the TRX version first. I'm going to show you a couple coaching cues that tend to help quite a bit, some common things that might go wrong, and then I'll come back up, see if you have any questions, and then we'll go to the Olympic bar. So let me just see if you are going to be able to see my body. I think that will be good. Okay, perfect. So we just have our TRX. You can't see it, but hanging from a beam in our roof down here. So what I always tend to think of with the TRX, you always want to keep tension in the bands. We don't want them to have slack and to be flopping around during our inverted row. I'm just gonna tilt this down a tiny bit so you can also see my feet. Not that it's super important, but it will be helpful to see my whole body. Okay, that's good enough. So what we really want to focus on is keeping tension through the whole body and tension through the whole strap during the pull-up. So what I mean by that is as I do a solid pull, the straps stay totally straight the whole time. So there's tension in my whole body, tension in the whole strap. It's not this kind of a thing where the straps can get flopping around. They always stay straight and they always stay tight through the entire range of motion, just like the body. Something that I will typically see is, I'm gonna just angle to the side slightly, as people pull up, they tend to let the hips drive before the chest. We don't want that. We want to keep the hips in line with the shoulders and the ankles as we're pulling through. So the glutes are strong, but it's just like that idea of as we stand up from a squat, we squeeze the glutes but keep good neutral alignment. We don't squeeze and push the hips through. Or at the top of a deadlift, we stand to the top. We don't push the hips through. Think about the same thing on your pull-up, okay? So, as I pull, the whole body stays in line. I almost think about my chest coming through first, not the hips driving through. So this is a nice example of a good pull. This is the example of the hips driving through. So we don't want that huge arch through the low back. We don't want that thrusting of the rib cage as you're coming up. We want to keep the ribs down, tension through the abdominals and core, glutes squeezing, keeping good alignment throughout, straps staying really tense, not flopping around. Anything else? I think that is about it. Oh, one more thing. Like we were talking about the rows a couple weeks back in Workout Wednesday with the band rows or the cable rows, we want the position of the elbows tucked into the body, tucked into the rib cage. I don't want this position at the top with the shoulder jutting forward and the elbow pulling back. So we just want to pull straight into the sides of the body with the arms, not here. Something I would see when I coach in person all the time is this big flinging motion at the top and the driving of the elbows backwards. Just keep them tucked in, the strength coming from the back, lots of work from those back muscles. Okay, let's go on now to the Olympic bar version, another great option if you have a squat rack available. So for the Olympic bar version, sorry if this light gets a bit weird when I'm underneath it, but the higher you go, the better it is that you can more adjust the amount of work you're going to be doing. So if we put it a bit higher, I can keep my body on less of an angle and that is a bit nicer. That's a bit nicer for the body. I'm just having it down at this angle. This is typically the height that I would go at, and I would do a bent knee version. But if you have the bar higher, say more if I was standing at shoulder or chest height, I wouldn't bend the knees. I would keep the legs straight. So here's how I do them, and I like this version. So I plant the feet down straight on the floor. They can be slightly turned out as well. I'm going to keep the arms straight and strong at the bottom. I take my hands larger or wider than shoulder width apart. So narrow grip is totally fine, just going to be super tough. So there's definitely a time and place for that. I'm going to go wider than shoulder width. I'm going to lift my hips, get my position really strong, and then pull to the top. So when you're setting up, I really recommend that. Get the upper body set and strong, straight arms, back muscles tight right from the get-go. Get your hips set, your knees set. Lift your hips up into that glute bridge position. Keep your arms straight. Make sure you have that starting position set. Then go ahead for your pull. Don't try to do everything at once or it gets a bit complicated. So arms straight and strong, feet set, hips set. I'm ready. Exhale, pull, control, down. I'm trying to pull chest to the bar or close to the bar. And they're really, really hard. So that's how we do the Olympic bar version. Now I could, let me actually show you so you know what I'm talking about. I could do this from a higher height, and that is all good as well. I'm not even sure if I'm on the right. Might need to put that down. One more notch. Okay, so let me see if this is even actually enough room. I might have to move the other racks up. Okay. So this is how you would set up for it. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm demoing it for you, just so I don't have to move these racks up as well. But you would go at shoulder to chest height distance, and I'm just gonna do it backwards towards you, but you would keep your legs straight and then pull this way, up and down with the legs staying totally straight. So another fantastic option there. So we really have 3 ways, really 4 ways. I didn't show you the sheet over the door, but I can link that video as well. So we have the TRX, or your suspension strap version, which I think a lot of you will be doing. So just make sure you keep the tension in the straps. They're not flopping around. They always have tension in them. The body pulls up in one straight line, and the arms go right into the body. Back is squeezing, not into this position, not thrusting the chest and the hips forward as you pull. Whole body comes up together. You can do it with the Olympic bar. If the bar is lower, totally fine. Just bend your knees, get your hips up into a strong position, and then pull. Your elbows are gonna go in a wider position, not glued into the body. And then you can raise the bar up higher if you're comfortable doing that. And just know that you have straight legs in that version, not bent legs. If you want a slightly less challenging version, take the bar up higher if you're using the Olympic bar. The great thing with the straps is that you can adjust your resistance level. You would just walk under further so your body's in more of an incline. If you want it to be more challenging, stay in a slightly more upright position if you want it to be a little less challenging. And you can adjust your position through your set as you get a little bit more tired through your reps. All right, so that is the inverted row with a TRX a suspension strap, or an Olympic bar setup in a squat rack. Any questions at all? If you catch the replay, let me know if you have any questions. If you need specific help on your setup at home, let me know as well. If you're doing the sheet over the door trick, same rules apply. Hold on tight. Holy heck, is it ever hard on your grip strength to do the sheet version because you're just gripping onto that sheet. It's so tough. That's how I used to do it in our apartment before we moved a year ago, and it was so hard. So kudos to you. All right, let me know if you need any help at all. And that's it for tonight. Okay, bye.